they were before we continue with the show. Remember, you can join us live at Look Up TV across all your social media platforms. I am at Kiage Simba. Once we come back, we'll look. Nakuja tufanye news, yeah?
I think it's been a journey for you, and I hope that this journey, however it ends, has changed your life forever. The way you're going to look at business, the way you're going to approach business, the way you're going to approach life, and what your purpose is and how you want to bring it to life has changed. Because really that's the power of a partnership with Strathmore. And when you look at the journey, what are the stories that I get from the participants who've been before you? That is what has made the biggest difference. Of course, a little money helps, and I wouldn't say that it doesn't help. But even if you don't get the money, you will look back and say, this helped me transform my business in very, very different ways. Just listen to the pitches, and in this particular one, we had over 300 applications before we came down to the final 10 of you who have gone through this program. People have dreams, but they're different way of realizing those dreams. And looking at our alumni and what the stories they are sharing with us, some people said, look, if I hadn't gone through this, if I just pitched an idea and you gave me the $10,000, the first thing I would have done is take a 1-month holiday because of the hard work that I've done. That's the first thing I would do. Take a 1-month holiday, and then I pay off my debts. Then what is left, I put into the business. But because of what we've gone through with Strathmore, it's a very, very different approach. That I take this as a business, and the way I want to approach it is very, very different. And really for us, that's a power. When you talk about empowering women, and this, we are very deliberate about this, and especially using technology, is to ensure that you've got the skills that can make you not only transform your business, but how you can use technology to really scale it up. And the good thing is, with the fifth administration, the Kenya Kwanza, we are very much aligned in terms of using technology. So you will be very comfortable in the new world. When the president says that he's going to build 100,000 kilometers superhighway on digital, of internet, so that it can be accessible to a lot more Kenyans. When he talks about digitizing government services, think about the business opportunity for you. What does it mean? And how can you tap into it? Because that's a new world, and that's where you really need to scale up. So I really want to wish you very well in this journey from what you have learned. We've been at it since 2017, and over 2,000 women have gone through through this partnership. And it's something that we want to continue scaling up. We want to continue scaling it up. We want to make it more meaningful. The discussions we always have with the participants, the alumni, and my team is, so what can we do? If we can only impact, can we impact more women? Can we impact more than 100? Can we impact more than 200? Because that's the thing, that those are the kind of conversations we are starting to have. That we've got a lot of data now, we've learned a lot. What more can we do to scale up? Because we want every one of you who is in this forum, every one of you is going through the program, and also those ones who did not succeed, to have the skills to be able to survive and thrive in the new world that we are in today.
Basically, I was just looking at challenges of women in tech, like I was saying, and I think it's very similar. I won't read the statistics because obviously now it's not that relevant. But if we look at the challenges that we all face as women, I guess they seem to be pretty similar in a lot of the industries. And I think I was looking at women entrepreneurs. Again, the good news is a lot of it is they're increasing in the world, and especially after COVID. They actually say in the US, they went up by 28% since before the pandemic. In the UK, micro businesses, women in micro businesses went up to 40% from 32%. And there's a similar story of startup industries, again, in developing countries from 16 to 35. Although, unfortunately, a lot of them, especially in the developing countries, tend to be micro startups, which I also say is not a problem because it also means women have put themselves out there. The issue is, how do we scale you guys up? How do we move you forward? And I believe this is what we are doing here is exactly that. So what are the challenges that really face women, really? And I would say it's access to finance, access to legal inequality, proper ownership. When you want to go to the bank to do some borrowing, you don't have the money to do that. But, again, despite all this, and I think it has been proven world over, there's a lot of strength in a woman. There's a lot of strength in who we are. I believe what ails women is an opportunity to use that strength. And also the fact that also we have, you know how they say you put an ant in a glass, you put other grasshoppers inside a bottle, and then this is the lid, and they'll only jump that much. And even if you lift the lid, they'll only jump that much. Those are the kind of things today, if you ask me, are ailing women. I don't think fundamentally, despite other than maybe the collateral bit, but there's a lot of funding today that is going around for women. There's a lot of grants, there's a lot of opportunities. But women, do we ourselves believe in ourselves? Do we actually believe that we could do that? And since I prepared about the tech industry, allow me just to state a few points, because what you're doing here is practicing tech. And if I could just turn it around and say, it is the fastest growing industry in the world today, definitely. And therefore, when you have something that is changing quickly, it means it doesn't have a lot of obstacles, it doesn't have a lot of history, it doesn't have a lot of things standing in its way, and therefore meaning it is very possible to change the narrative and actually say the inequality between the women and men, the inequality between youth and color and gender and geographies can always be very, very easily changed, because everybody accepts that it is a very volatile industry.
Very quickly, as soon as people realized this change is here, businesses began to ask us to provide a service for them to train their employees. It was never in our business plan, right? And that's the best feeling, when the market and your customers are asking for something, so you know now you're providing something they truly want. Not to mention, I see some of my mentors, let me even turn and tell them, we found the right commercial model. Was that grilled into you guys? Yes. I remember in the program. So find a business model that works, because you have to generate revenues. You need to be profitable. You need to grow your business. So once we pivoted, pivoting, it's the order of the day. So you pivot your business to a model that works. So ZD between 2020, end of 2020 to now, fully went into what we call B2B, enabling African businesses to affordably train their teams using localized African courses and an online and offline platform. So we launched things like SMS, USSD. How do we help you reach employees who are in remote areas who don't have smartphones? And in that period, we have more than 45 companies that we are working with. And 2023 is big. In fact, we also just closed our pre-seed funding in October, so there's a lot of pressure now. ZD is in growth, now it's about, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, what you were saying, Flora, a team structure, I've been hiring and saying the vision is to move from Joyce to now people who can drive this and drive it very fast so we can grow in 2023.
Mainly depending on, the stage of your business. When I started off, same thing, started with no office, got some brochures, used to run around with them in the boot of my car. No stock, of course, couldn't afford stock. The first thing was getting people to believe, in your audacious, plans. So getting even the first member of staff was very difficult. Setting out, getting funds because it was capital intensive, bringing availabilibility of material here because we used to import at that time from New Zealand. We still do sometime, and changing the convincing like architects and engineers and professionals that this is a good product, and everyone would ask you, where have you done it? And And of course, you've not done in anywhere, and you're showing photos of, in New Zealand, and they're saying, but that's New Zealand. Where have you done it in Kenya? So just, having the faith and belief in yourself to just keep at it with almost no shillings was a challenge. So how I overcame that, I think I must say I didn't particularly go out with a mindset that I had a solution, but I found very good partners in the suppliers that we have. And over time, slowly, that ladder we have been told about, over time we built a credit line with our suppliers. And over years, we kept growing and growing, and we were able to bring stock. But then when you're given credit, you have to pay up. You have to. Don't ever not pay your debts. So that was the first thing, which catapulted to access to finances. Next thing, as the business now started growing, maybe later, is structure. Then suddenly you have this huge demand you can't meet. You're dealing with very long lead times. Understanding global business versus local business. Even just securing your own stock. So systems then become an issue. I didn't have a background of business. I studied architecture. So again, it was baptism by fire. I went back to school, went to Strathmore, did OMP, did another program, Stanford Seed, did a course in corporate governance. That's the first time you're hearing words like vision, mission, wondering what are these things. So go back to school, start learning how to do business. You really have to. And then start practicing what you're taught. That was a solution for these structure issues. I spent a lot of time on the internet. I do read a lot on, things on the internet. I do. And then I try them out. So there's no harm in trying. You'll make a few mistakes. So that's that. Then, of course, you now have to start understanding your business environment. That comes with a lot of challenges. Laws change, the market changes, tax regime changes. You need to understand all those things. So start putting yourself out there. Hence, I found myself in Kenya Association of Manufacturers, KEPSA, Kenya Chamber, going for all the trainings. When you're called for any meeting, just go. You learn something. Go for those KRA trainings, by the way. They are quite helpful. Don't run away thinking they'll know you by your PIN number. Just go. They are quite helpful. So learn your business environment.
I think building on what Winnie said, the challenges never stop, they just change. And so when we started Vivo, for example, initially we were importing everything, but then we had a challenge finding products in a wide enough range of sizes and styles and colors. So that was a challenge, but that challenge then became the opportunity. So that's what made us begin to design and produce locally, which really then, shifted the business. The challenges you faced in COVID became the opportunity. So I think, even with things like money, yes, it's true. We women may struggle more than men to get access to loans and things like that. But the opportunities, it means that we're more resourceful. We probably will find ourselves in slightly less debt.
Who can we invite to share words of wisdom? We could have invited.
In our case, I raised money from friends and family. And even till now, it's only Shopzetu that started the institutional investment route. But Vivo has remained very much funded by very close circles. So I think for me, some of the harder challenges when you start to scale is around how do you bring productivity as your numbers are growing. Between Vivo and Shopzetu, by the end of the year, we'll have probably 350 staff. So when the business gets that big, it's very different. It's all about having the right systems and structures and processes. I don't attend as many trainings and things as you do, but I have benefited from a few. And I think that having a clear strategy and having some tools that help you think through some of these things really, really made the difference. I don't think we'd be where we are. I think having a board, in our case, once we had a real board, because in the beginning it was literally my brother and a friend who just said, well done, oh, that's nice, well done. But then when we got a real board of people who didn't feel shy to say, well, hang on, that doesn't make sense, or you're being way too, you're being too shy, and actually as women, I think we need men at the table sometimes. It's my male board members who push me the hardest, who think the boldest. We'll say, there was times when we'd say, okay, our plan is to open one more store next year, and they'd say, why one? Why not 5? And I'm like, what do you mean? We've never opened 5. How are we going to do that? But there's a conservativeness that sometimes women have, which is good, but it also helps to have that other voice at the table. So I enjoy having men be part of this journey and part of the conversation too. I think I'll stop there.
I was given some information that women-led ventures account for 85% of new jobs in the informal sector. That means a lot for the economy. And over 20% of the Kenyan GDP is also coming from women-led businesses. One of the things I was also very happy today was while some of the teams were making presentations, they were making reference, so following the advice that I was given, I did this and I got these results. So you see, this is in a period of 3 months. And I could see that some of the entrepreneurs have already really benefited from that training, and that has led to areas where it has helped them to improve their business. As it normally happened to me, but today it was even more difficult, is I am listening to the presentation and I say, oh, this is a beautiful idea. I think this group has to be the winner. And then I come to the next group. Wow, these are also a very good idea. This should be the winner. And then the next group, and then the next group, okay? At times there is one group that I hear saying, no, these guys I don't see, but today that didn't happen. So when it came to me to decide, and I checked my marks, one was 70, the other was 71, the other was 69. Now all this is so marginal. How do you make the decision? But let me remind you, you have already been through a program where you have been trained. And opportunities for funding, there are many. So those of you who have been selected today, fantastic. You get your first funding, maybe. We also heard, and this has been our experience, that some of the groups got funding here. 1 year later, they make a presentation, and that was just an initial capital. Later on, they got other sources of funding or investment. And so for those of you who are going to be successful today, well and good. For those of you who are not going to be successful, be sure your ideas are very good. And you still can make it.
It is Kiara Botanics by Terian Chebet.
To learning differently.
the sun.
Aurora system.
Digipath by Melanie Happy Sue.
I think first of all, it's exciting messages for the ladies who've gone through this program. I think for them, especially the ones who've gone out with the check, it's exciting. Even those who didn't win, we want to wish them well. But generally for everybody else, is come to the end of the year. It's been a difficult year, but we thank God for it and wish everybody a Merry Christmas. And I'm really looking forward to 2023, where we are seeing the business optimism is rising. As a new government settles in, we are excited about the optimism and we are looking forward to fully participating in moving Kenya forward. We've come a long way. I think when we started, when we used to talk about you want to use technology to scale up, a lot of people didn't understand what you're talking about. Now people do. The opportunities, and you've seen how aggressive the new government has come in. We're talking about using technology to create 1 million jobs for the youth. The opportunity is immense. So businesses that are comfortable with technology, businesses that have scaled up with technology, even the alumni, the stories for the alumni, they are saying I've been able to scale up because of technology. So it's gone a long way in moving people forward. In addition, we also launched something in women in cyber security, because we know as the cybercrime is increasing, and we launched a program as well to train women so that they can go into that field of being in cyber security. So it's a completely new economy, and it's creating thousands of jobs every day, every hour. So we are excited about it. No, this one is specifically for women. Don't sneak in the men. I think our focus is on the women, because we believe they're disadvantaged. They don't have the opportunities. They have more challenges and barriers to get into business, and that's why we are deliberately targeting women. And we will continue targeting women. Definitely, funding is always an issue. If you, when you want to start up, when you want to scale up, you need money. But the great stories we are hearing from the people who've gone through the program is they're able to raise a lot of money from investors, because they're able. What this program teaches you is how to pitch your idea and to focus on a problem, not the solution. Because you can get carried away with a solution. So when you focus on the problem, you'll meet people who want to fund that problem, because there's a solution, you can come out of it. And those are the stories that we really are excited to listen to. That we are seeing people, when you have those kind of stories, when you're focusing on a real societal problem, and then you can come up with a solution that can solve that problem, people are willing to fund it. So a lot of the people we've seen who've gone through the program, within the number of years we've been holding it up, what we are hearing is they get some of them get from bank, some of them get from investors, and some of them get money goodwill. So it's really changing their lives and the society as well. There are very many examples we can give. We know there are some who've gone up. You heard the story today. One of the alumni, 2017, she was among the first one. She's just closed her latest round of seed funding. Big money she has been able to raise because of what this program did. Every year since 2017, there are 10 finalists. Out of those 10 finalists, 5 are the ones who get the cash. But the other 5, there are some who've gone to raise a lot of money, both within Kenya and outside Kenya. So when you look at the statistics and the stories when you listen to these women and the problems they've gone out to solve, it's inspiring.
Vera Beauty and Fashion College is focused on being the leading technical and vocational training institute in the region. Our team possesses in-depth knowledge and extensive experience in the industry, offering thorough training in cosmetology, hairdressing, interior design, creative arts, training of trainers, nail technology, and fashion design. With branches in Nairobi, Thika, Meru, Eldoret, and now in Mombasa, our courses ensure that learners are completely equipped with knowledge, competency, and employability skills. Enroll today to be a part of a center of excellence.
So mimi nilikuwa mmoja wa timu kubwa ya Hasla na ngojea mazao yake.
Na bila shaka mpenzi mtazamaji, ni awamu nyingine tena ya bunge la mwenyeji ambapo tunasikia tu maoni ya wenyeji hasa wananchi wa kawaida. Je, maoni ni yapi?
Anakuambia wananchi ndio kila kitu. Unaona dips na system ni wananchi. Unaona vile wamenyorosha watu bwana.
Tumeng'oa nanga kwenye bunge la mwenyeji.
So ile kitu nasema tunamuomba asituachilie.
Bwana Odhiambo.
Ndio.
Umepata wapi madoza kujenga nyumba smart car hizi?
Pesa isikushtue. Nimetumia hii mashini kutoka Kiage Engineering. Ni bei nafuu, inatengeneza blocks 500 kwa siku. Angalia hii nyumba, imenikatia cost ya ujenzi by 50%.
50%?
Ndio, 50%. Isitoshe, iko very strong na inadumu.
Hata mimi nataka kujenga nyumba kama hii.
Nunua hii mashini kutoka Kiage Engineering Company.
Kiage Engineering Services Limited. Siri ya ujenzi, siri ni Kiage.
See, when the new government took over, and when I'm talking about the government, there are those critical areas that you really have to focus on. It is Treasury. So Professor Ndung'u really criticized Ukur for the way they handled our debt repayment and our debt composition. Now, just hold on. Go back to when Ukur took over office. He rained on his predecessor, who was Rotich, for the way that he rained down Treasury by accumulating a lot of commercial debt. So now, those are three gentlemen who have not really completed their tenure, because if you remember, Rotich did not complete his tenure, Yatani did sit in office fully, and now we have one, Professor Ndung'u, who we think, or hopefully, hope that he's going to complete his tenure. Now, he comes in and says, we got to borrow. So the talk from all the three gentlemen that we've seen in our office are pretty much the same, but presented differently. Now, as we start look at business today, or continue with look at business today, I've got to tell you this. Now, our credit rating is currently at B. In other terms, if you ask proper financial analysts, they will tell you that we are just one wrong financial decision away from going the Ghana way. Now, you do know this week that Ghana and IMF did get into proper conversations on exactly how Ghana was going to pay its debt, because all of a sudden, it looks as if Ghana is stuck. So when our credit rating now is given a negative outlook of B2 from B positive by S&P and Fitch and Moody's respectively, those are three guys who are telling you things are not good. You gotta have your house in order. But then what Treasury is saying And when I say treasury, it is Ndungu who's saying we are fine. We don't see any problem. Now remember, part of these guys are the ones who actually give us credit. And so when they tell us we do not think that you're proper in terms of credit composition or your debt composition, then indeed it's time for us to worry. But we already do know that plans are underway to reduce expenditure by 300 billion. Whether that is going to lift the face of this B2 rating, it is for you and I to really say. Because if you go back to what B means, under B2, it essentially means we have a negative outlook. B means that we are a material risk. And when you're at B2, you're just one financial decision away for being a material risk. That's when people start running away from giving you credit. Are we slowly getting there? That's a question that we gotta ask. What I do know is that we are on with Lookup Business and Lookup TV across all your social media platforms. I am at Kiage Simba. Let's cross over then to the biggest headlines that we do have at this moment. President William Ruto has reaffirmed his government's commitment to digitization of government services and expansion of internet access in the country to counter the global economic disruptions. President Ruto has said this during his tour at the United States at the US Africa Summit, especially at the Arizona State University's Thunderbird School of Global Management.
Another rich data set that we're actually...
Today, I am happy that I'm seeking your partnership in realizing that ambition to transform Kenya. The world is experiencing unprecedented disruptions across many sectors. The fourth industrial revolution, as an era of human evolution through the technical advancement, is rapidly transforming how we live, transforming how we learn, work, and communicate, offering opportunities while presenting a new and significant challenge to our development. The recent World Economic Forum Jobs Report notes that the absence of proactive efforts, inequality in this century is likely to increase. Jobs held by lower wage workers, majority of whom are women and youth, have been deeply impacted by various disruptions, especially by globalization and, of course, the fourth industrial revolution. The government of Kenya has taken deliberate action to prioritize digital transformation. We have already profiled 5,000 government services to be digitized in the next 6 months. We have also a robust program on how to make digitization, to make internet access not the preserve of the few, and Kenya is going to extend, we're going to extend our fiber optic footprint another 100,000 kilometers around Kenya so that we can bring many people to the reality of using the internet and getting into the digital space.
Not the first center starting in Kenya, and then we're going to choose 7 other centers in Africa to work on the digital transformation, because we all know that we miss the other revolution. We cannot miss this fourth revolution, because we have the competitive advantage of we have the youngest population of the world, and we need to take advantage of that.
Conservation International commits to partnering with the government of Kenya and will continue investing financial resources and technical assistance.
Much of the culture, one of the shows.
Safaricom has announced a reduction in M-Pesa pay bill charges and a business to customer tariffs in a move to ensure affordability and cushion its customers from the harsh economic times. The telco announced the slashing of charges from bank to M-Pesa wallets by an average of 61%, M-Pesa to bank charges by an average of 47%, which is applicable to customers making M-Pesa to bank transactions. Transactions below 100 shillings still remain zero rate. integrated. Now, the reduced M-Pesa to bank tariffs will also apply to all M-Pesa pay bill payments that customers use for utilities effective 1st of January 2023. This comes on the back of banks getting transfer charges and payments tariffs reinstated by the Central Bank of Kenya, also starting January 2023. The government is now seeking a joint partnership with the Chinese government in the extension of the standard gauge railway (SGR) from Mai Mahiu to Malaba. Speaking in the Inland Container Depot ICD in Mai Mahiu, Naivasha, the Transport Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen has said the government was keen to revamp railways across the country as they had turned out to be cheaper and safer transportation of goods.
This SGR project is eventually supposed to go all the way to Malaba border to join together, because it's not a Kenyan project alone, it's an East Africa project, to join together with what our brothers are doing in Uganda, and then to Rwanda, to Congo, and make our African trade become successful, and business connecting people, trade in goods and trade in services will be improved by having this infrastructure extended. When the rail will open up the new transport corridor through Narok, through Bomet, through Nyamira, and then Kisii and Kisumu, that will open up a new corridor of transport.
All right. Now, Embu County government has organized the Embu County Mega Agriculture and Tech Expo, looking to enhance sustainable economic growth through promoting smart climate, agriculture and trade. The expo, which will run through this week, will pull together players in the agriculture sector. Our reporter Cecilia Lubanga now joins us live from Embu County, just to bring us up to speed on exactly what is going on at the ground. Cecilia Lubanga, take over.
Good morning, Simba. Hope you're doing well back in studio. So far so good. I'm coming to you live from Embu County. Of course, you're attending one of the most productive forums, the Agricultural Forum here in Embu County, that brings together a number of farmers and tech skilled people who are just, investing in the tech sector in terms of farming. So of course, we're just in this forum, and you've seen a number of individuals who are here to display a number of products. And of course, it's one of the things that I'm going to take you around just to ensure that you get a picture of what's happening around here. We are having various tents which have been mounted with various marketers, producers, and even farmers who are just trying to market, or rather showcase what they have, or rather what they're brought in store today. So of course, Simba, I'll take you around just to understand what's exactly happening here in Embu County, in one of the most to understand who is where, what are they doing, what have they brought here today. If I can just engage a number of individuals who are here just showcasing a number of products. if my camera person can just come here, maybe if I can just engage one of them. Good morning.
Good morning too.
So what's happening here today? Who are you guys?
Okay, my name is Brian and I'm from AfroDrip. We are just a company that we do mostly irrigation stuff, from drip lines, shade nets and all stuff. And we are happy to be here today.
So what are you expecting to benefit from today's forum?
Today we just mostly want to train farmers, at least to show farmers by the, currently we have been in a drought situation. So we want to provide farmers with the technology that at least they don't just depend on rain alone. They need to diversify now. Yeah, so we have a branch in Embu, and she's the manager for Embu. Yeah.
So is this the first forum that you guys are displaying your products, or is this, have you been able to display a number of products in the previous forums?
Yeah, we usually attend. We have attended most of agriculture show from Nakuru and Nyeri, even to Mombasa. So this one is just something that we usually do. In case you have an occasion, we never face to attend it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. So Simba, that's just one of the people who have mounted, or rather group that has mounted their platform here, and who are hopeful that at the end of the day they'll be able to just, get a hold of a number of people who are selling their products, or other farmers who are farming to be able to buy into their goods. So I'm taking you elsewhere, whereby people are displaying a number of equipment. If you're a business owner, definitely you'll be needed to run your business in a manner that is going to benefit, or rather grow whatever that you're doing. So of course, I'll engage one of the individuals here just to give us a brief of what's happening over here. Good morning.
Morning to you.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
So tell me what's happening here, and if just my camera person can pan as you explain.
We are exhibiting. We have ETL machines, point of sales, and the consumables, the morals, and barcodes. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so what are you expecting to benefit from today's forum?
As the government is directing, any business person is liable to paying tax. So tulipe ushuru tujitegemee. Yeah, that's why we are selling ATR machines.
Okay. Who are your main targets in this forum today?
All exhibitors and all farmers who mainly do business, and who at the end of the day are selling to the consumers. Okay. Yeah.
So far?
So far, so good. Okay. And we are getting good clientele base here.
Nice. Thank you so much. Simba, that's just, another happening. Must rather be implemented by farmers when it
That is Cecilia Lubanga right there at the Embu Agriculture and Tech Expo that will run for the entire of this week. Now moving on, Superior Homes Kenya have launched their Lukenya Wildlife Estate, a luxury project within Aswara Plains Conservancy, Machakos County. According to the Chief Executive Officer, Shiva Rora, the project will open the real estate sector in Kenya to a segment tried and tested in the other markets in the region. I met with him at the sidelines of the launch.
It's a really unique concept, Lukenya Wildlife Estate, because it's bush living, a community in nature, living, green open spaces next to wildlife, low density development, minimum plot size of a half acre, but still borrowing from things that Superior Homes is good at, which is master planning, controlled developments, well-managed estates, and most importantly, it's bush living, conservancy living, but 20 to 30 minutes to the CBD. So you can be working, hustling, bustling in the CBD, but still move and have your peace, quiet, tranquility, and a serene environment in your home. So it's new concept, a unique concept, yes, but still borrowing on a lot of the things that Superior Homes does well.
For you to have confidence that this is exactly going to work, you have to borrow from where this particular concept has worked. What do you think makes the Kenyan market special that gives you the confidence that you are going to pilot this and it's going to work?
Look, the Kenyan market needs things like this. It's when people thought about Green Park 15 years ago, people are like, what is Ian Anderson doing, on that dusty Mombasa road, building up homes in Athi River? Today, Green Park's one of the most successful master plan developments in East Africa. So it's about seeing where the market is moving to. People are now happy to live a little bit outside the city, right? So that they can have ease of better life, more open air, and really enjoy what Kenya is supposed to look like with a serene, tranquil environment, but still get into the city. It's not only superior homes. If you look, across Thika Road, Mombasa Road, Eastern Bypass, there's so many developments that are opening up which are giving people that ability to break away. So this is a really unique concept. Nairobi is a unique city, right? We have the Nairobi National Park, and the Hopcrafts, whose ranch this is, where we bought 100 acres from. Out of the 18,000, 14,000 acres has been gifted to the, as a conservancy. So it's really just an extension of all the wildlife, and for people to be able to live in that sort of an environment is pretty unique.
It might be the last day today that we do the show live, because the markets are completely closing down today for holidays. So essentially means that we won't really have anything to talk about as from Monday. No wonder the quote that if you're working as from Monday onwards, then you should reevaluate your career choices. Anyway, here's the thing. We've seen how the markets have gone on holiday even before they officially break today for holiday. We've been questioning where the money is. Safaricom has been doing volumes of less than what? 1 million? And less than 5 million, and they're still doing less than that currently as we speak. But here's the thing though, we gotta put at it and then see exactly how they open today. So it's a pity though that we want to see exactly how they close today. Remember, maybe majority of you may want to do the last minute trading before you go on holiday, but we're here to see exactly how it is looking right now. For me, let's go back to yesterday then, see exactly how they opened. And by that, we're going to start with our biggest losers. And from here, I will tell you indeed, not so much of a surprise. Again, we've seen this particular stocks for the entire of this year, because if you really wanted to invest in this particular one, then East African Cables Limited, we're seeing Umeme Limited as well, we're seeing the Home Africa as well. It's not been good, because if you look at those standings of those particular stocks, then you will say that maybe Umeme Limited is the one that is worth your money. But then guess what? This is exactly how it is. We know what exactly is happening with that cable. East African Cables Limited trying to get themselves out of the red, go back to exactly where they used to be back in the early 2000s. A lot of stocks, you would say, are trying to get themselves back there. But it looks as if with the no change in the way this particular top 5 losers are looking like from yesterday, then you will say, indeed, majority of you have just gone on holiday. All right, let's go back to what were the biggest gainers yesterday then. See whether there are any surprises from what we have been used to this year. And indeed, again, not much. Because from now, you can see exactly when Uchumi clocks 27.28 cents, then you will say they're back at it again. Sanlam, every time they clock 9 shillings from 8, then you will say they will jump into the top again as list. But we're seeing Jubilee Holdings Limited is back at 200 flat. That is a healthy one, because if they knock 186 like we saw them knock Monday, then you will see that they're gonna get into the big losers list. For me, the conversation point is Jubilee oscillating between top gainers and top losers. Sanlam, hot and cold this year. Not so much to speak about Liberty and Fahari Limited, really. Not so much on those particular stocks. Now, the next one is the big boys then. As we ask ourselves, where is this money? Because we do know what the market litmus test is, if you do remember your chemistry from high school. the litmus test, for the way in which we trade here is Safaricom, and will forever be Safaricom indeed. But now, when you look at the numbers that we have for Safaricom, if they don't knock 10 million, 8 million, 12 million, then you will say indeed that we're not really doing so good in the market. But then, can we have a look at it and then see whether indeed they're opening with a bigger number this morning? I would doubt. Okay, let's jump into that as well and look at the top 5 in terms of a volume. Equity is back at it, 3.5 million. So you will say indeed then, majority of you are moving away from Safaricom, or the fact that Safaricom's bigger investor ratio then is by foreign investors. We do know that they took their break a long time ago at the start of November. You will say that 2.9 flat almost, equity 3.5, but then between equity and Safaricom, you have a volume of close to 7 million. That's how you know that we're not doing so good. Yeah? Cooperative comes in, not even at a million, KCB and DTK, then you will say indeed then that when you look at them, when you have KCB and Cooperative represent an equity representing the banking quarters at the NSA, and you will know indeed that when you want to play safe, you got to put your money in the banking quarters and telecommunication, which is essentially Safaricom. If you're not going to go the Kakuzi and EBL way, then you will say safe trading towards the end of the year. It looks as if you guys do not really want to break your heads on exactly where the market is going to run or turn. That's why we're seeing equity, Safaricom, and KCB headlining trading on the biggest volumes moved yesterday. And I bet it's not going to be different at the close of today. For me now, officially then, from my lookup business, I want to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I'll see you next year. More conversations coming in, more guests. Also, I'm going to walk right here for business, yes, definitely. And yeah, hopefully I get to meet you outside there so we can talk markets and any other thing. So for me and the entire of the Lookup business team, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. We'll meet you next year. Goodbye.
Vera Beauty and Fashion College is focused on being the leading technical and vocational training institute in the region. Our team possesses in-depth knowledge and extensive experience